The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
All right, so we are recording. All is being. There you go. All right. Where's my sunglasses?
Leave them on.
Oh, I don't have sunglasses because I came here at 5 a.m.
Oh, right. Yeah, the sun wasn't out yet. Oh, the future's so bright.
The future's so bright. Nice.
I gotta wear
Are those
shades.
yellow? Those are yellow.
They're yellow.
They're yellow.
Yellow. Now, is
You
it
should have
how
the-
long do you have the yellow?
not have the other ones up
You were
here?
all
Just
like
got 'em.
right before.
Just got him.
Just got them. Those are new, huh?
They even have his name on it.
Here's my name.
Oh, you got one of those. That's right. You did the whole special name on yours. Dang. Can you choose your font?
You can, like one of two.
One of oh.
Yeah. Like somebody's going to steal these. They're yellow. Come on.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, as you can already say, because I think we're just going to roll right into this. Welcome to the Modern
Absolutely.
Jeeper Show. This is I don't even know what episode this. What episode is this? Are we
90.
Are we almost at like this must be like 94? Is this like 94?
I think so, 94.
That means that sometime in January, assuming all goes well, we should hit our 100th episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Here in the very beginning of January.
Yeah, assuming we actually count right.
Yeah. And the world doesn't come to a complete end.
Modern Jeepers, I'm Matson with Metal Cloak, and as you can tell, if you've listened to our other episodes, we're not starting this one the way we usually do. That's because, well, just it's a Wednesday and we're kind of giddy. But hey, I'm here with Mr. Modern Jeeper Corey Osborne. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. Doing good. Yourself?
I am doing so well. I'm happy. I'm healthy. It's all good. And of course, Rockstar Jeep girl Jessy. How you doing, darling?
I'm great. Just got back from Moab.
Nothing better than that. Nothing better.
You know, I got to rub it in. Just,
I know. Well, if you guys saw my little Facebook Live piece on Cyber Monday when I was doing kind of our final push to everybody, I had to, again, admit to the community that I have not been wheeling much at all this year. If it wasn't for Death Valley, I don't think I would have gotten off at all. I mean, this has just been incredible. I do want to mention, though, everybody knows Rockstar, your Jeep. And what are the two colors of Rockstar, your Jeep?
It's yellow and purple.
And what do you, if you're watching this, you guys got to watch because she's got a yellow and purple. Looks like, is that a Snuggie right behind you? Is that your little Snuggie
No,
blanket?
that's actually a Christmas gift somebody made me.
Wow.
It's a big knitted
Jeep
blanket.
Wow. Is it like
It says not all who are wander or lost or whatever it is.
Oh, all who wander are not lost?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I kind of
We're just-
prefer when I wander to be lost, but
It's an excuse.
don't find me. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wandering. Don't find me.
And we do have a special guest. We have a
What?
special guest.
Well, we have a special guest today.
He's festive, Christmassy.
He's going to be the best guest we've ever had because he doesn't say anything.
No, he just
He
sits
might
there.
make the scream move.
Keep him away from your fish, though.
Yeah.
Right. And
And
frogs.
frogs.
And what's that?
He eats a lot of frogs. That's a good thing.
So that's awesome. We have Baby Yoda in the house. Woohoo! Baby Yoda. All right, I finally caught up on The Mandalorian. I was a little behind because I
I'm
was
still
working
behind.
on the weekends and hadn't had a chance to. And that's the only thing about Disney Plus. I wish they would just do the whole Netflix thing and just put it all at once and let you binge through it. Because I probably binge every one every weekend.
Yeah.
But they're trying to be traditional and release them once a week, and it's kind of
Right.
frustrating.
I've not seen any of them, so I don't know what you're talking about.
We even know
I
Baby
just
Yoda
talked
is.
about it.
You have no idea.
No.
So I didn't even have Baby Yoda. You don't deserve to have Baby Yoda.
He just showed up one day at the house.
You got. You
I
gotta
adopted
send
him.
in. Like, yeah, you can't even have Baby Yoda. You don't even know what Baby Yoda is.
There was a knock at the front door, and I went and answered it, and there he was.
There was. He was there, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Knock, knock,
And you're.
knock. Let me in.
Okay, and those of you who haven't watched The Mandalorian because you're like Corey, you don't have Disney Plus or something. It is I don't even care. You could not like the Avengers, you could not like Star Wars, you could not like anything else, and Mandalorian alone is worth the $4 or $5 a month to have Disney Plus. If you can enjoy the frustration of the fact that Disney Plus has so many subscribers and it's built so quickly, they didn't expect it to be so popular that occasionally you just simply can't get in, or
Oh,
occasionally your volume is gone, or occasionally it just doesn't work properly. And
wow.
that's like, it's fine. You get through it. You end up going, you frustratingly go, okay, I'll go get my fix today, but I'll turn it off and try something else because I have Netflix or Amazon or too many other things to watch.
Or, how did we get here where we all had either back in the day, we had an antenna, and then those of us who were fortunate had cable, and then we had satellite, and now we've got what, 50 streaming services? I mean,
Well, I was kind of fortunate growing up that I had a bit of a rebel for a grandmother. She was single. She worked for the state, and she was quite rebellious because she had, and this is like, this is early 80s. She had a pirate antenna up. I don't know who put
nice.
it up for, but it was pirate antenna. So she got cable, or that wasn't really cable. It was whatever the signal was coming through. It was from her pirate antenna. And of course, she had regular TV channels, but she had this pirate antenna up that she got stuff from. She also had a VCR and a laser disc.
Laser disc.
A laser disc. Now, if everybody doesn't
Nice.
remember, those are the ones that were like a big giant square that like was a record disc inside of the sys, right?
Those didn't
And
last very long.
she would go and rent the laser discs, which were like a buck or whatever at the local little shop, bring them in, and she had it set up where she was recording it to her VHS.
Oh, pirating
she
off
had
the
this-
laser discs.
That's right. She was and she had like this whole collection of these VHS ones in the nice, not really leather, it was kind of vinyl cases. You open, and on the outside on the label it said what the movie was, and then it said in there like what the number was, because on her VCR she could just automatically advance to it, and she would have 3 movies per
On
tape,
each tape.
and transfer. So I had like all these movies. I'd go over to her house. I'd eat my, some chips and some, I'd eat chips, and usually there'd be a jar full of saltines. Gotta love those. And then there would be in the freezer frozen fried chicken, like and I'd throw it in the microwave. Yeah, not good.
It
as a
doesn't
kid,
sound very good.
better. You just do it. It's fine, along with the Shasta soda and whatever else.
Mm.
But and throw in a movie that I probably shouldn't be watching, advance it to the right location, and do it. So,
Well,
I have all kinds of stuff.
For our listeners that have been kind of watching what I've been going through with some of my mom's stuff, she has a VHS library that consists of every episode for pretty much any TV show that was ever on TV.
Oh my God.
In order, no commercials. I have a 3-ring binder, literally of about 50 pages of the catalog of what's on all these VHS tapes.
Wow.
You could go down and know which shelf it's on and what row it's on. And
So I'm looking for old episodes of Knight Rider.
Oh, okay. Well, we can probably pull those out.
Okay.
And if you're into X-Files,
Especially like
well, here, let me grab that 3-ring binder right there. The one underneath that stack. Yeah, that whole thing.
Or how about the Dukes of Hazzard era where they use the fake car, the plastic car?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Let's
Dukes
see.
of Hazzard, is that okay now? Like, can you not, or do they ban it because do they blur out the flag on the top of the General Lee?
That's
we
a
don't
good
call it the
question.
General Lee anymore. We call it the what, I don't know, the Mrs. Leia.
So I have literally every episode's
That handwritten?
season. I have the name of every episode for every show for every year.
Wait, is that handwritten?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So this is Bones episode years 3 through 6.
Yeah, not interested.
That's 7 through 10. Oh yeah. I mean,
How about Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
handwritten
Oh my gosh. Wow.
binders full.
Binders. That's plural. Binders.
Binders.
Binders. Yeah,
Binders.
lots of.
So
Wow.
if you're looking for any episodes, I also have a list of when she got robocalls,
Oh,
how many she got per day for every day for
Nice.
5 years.
Yeah, there might be like some compensation out there. Like you could go after the companies for
Right.
causing her mental anguish.
It's causing me mental anguish. So
That's right.
yeah. Hey, let's talk about Jeeps.
So I got to ask, what do you do with all the videos?
I have no idea yet. There's a bedroom full of them.
I mean, you can't really donate them anywhere because it's not really appropriate for them to use them in public viewing, or
Right.
But,
so if you're interested in a certain show from the last 18 years, 9 times out of 10, now we can just go to iTunes or whatever, or Amazon, and we just can download the whole season.
all right, so let's get a little serious here. I think you should put those in a bunker, because when hell breaks loose and everything goes down and we no longer have access to things, the man who has the entertainment will have the power.
That's right. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
You have all those. You could start an entire station. You could start like a local station, pirate station, with just those shows.
I could do my own streaming service.
You could. Like, oh wait. No, wait. Maybe there's something illegal about that. Just go to the dark web. I'm sure people want that stuff.
I can put them in a time capsule and let the aliens in 24 years discover them.
Well, at a certain point, you just throw them in a vehicle and just like, hey, let's shut these up in space and just let the rest of the universe learn about us.
How come we never put VCR players in our cars, yet we put in DVD players?
Well, we did kind of. They were called 8-tracks.
Sort of.
Did you ever Did you ever have an 8-track player?
Yes.
In your car?
Yeah.
Nice. What car was it?
So I had an 8-track player in a there might have been one in the 73 Ford Gran Torino.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine was in a 1978 Toyota Celica.
Oh, cool.
GT. Yeah. Very, very heavy car.
Well, yeah. Well, the Gran Torino was cool because I could put like 12 of my best friends in the back seat.
Nice.
Hey, let's talk about Jeeps.
I didn't have to worry about that because I didn't have 12 friends.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Well, it's Baby Yoda.
Baby
you can
Yoda.
go buy one of these and he can ride around with you.
He might be my friend.
Yeah.
Yes,
for sure.
Does he make any sounds, or he's just a?
No.
Now John has a Baby Yoda on his desk, but his is made of Legos.
Oh.
Baby Yoda Lego. Yeah.
Man, he really hurt to step on him.
We need Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
We need Baby Yoda in a Jeep.
Well, we're gonna like attach him to the front like a Santa Claus or something, but he's kind of scared.
That you don't want to do that.
Right.
The Jeep might fly.
This is true. Be like our Rudolph.
Okay, so let's talk Jeeps. I'll talk Jeeps. Here talk about funny timing. I've been trying to get my Garrison wheels from Black Rhino. Love the guys over there, Ryan over there, helping us out, and these Garrison wheels for my Gladiator.
Right.
And I've been running around for the last 2 weeks after I put the 3.5-inch lift on it with the standard Gladiator wheels, right? The stock wheels and the Falcon Wild Peak AT or MTs, which are just fantastic, right? And it's like, okay, you know what? Finally, I need to just step up and put bigger tires. So we have a set of wheels here that we got from Dub way back when, and they've been running on a few different rigs, and they were running these 20-inch. I think was it 37 20s or whatever. Like, let's just throw those on. So those got thrown on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're that guy.
I'm that guy right now.
But
and
does it look
today the wheels arrive?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's about right. You should have put those on a week ago.
And to have the color I want to do with them and all that. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden, oh, hey, your wheels are here.
Yeah, that's about right.
So it's going to look awesome, though. Guys, going to have to pay attention to when I get this all together and actually show some pictures of it put together, because all that stuff's got to get custom powder coated. But it's happening. It's happening soon, and
nice.
And it actually happened this year, not in 11 months, Corey.
Which is I'm at a loss of words.
Are you impressed?
I am kind of impressed. Well,
So
Well,
when are
it's
you
just
going to put the rack on?
Huh?
When are you going to put a rack on it?
Well, we don't really have a rack for it yet.
Do we have a ram?
I am putting our prototype racks that we had for before, but so here's what we're doing. And I probably spilling the beans here. Somebody else is going to do this anyway. But pretty much everybody's already doing their versions of racks. But I'm going to do like the twin tube old Baja truck, twin. That's what I'm doing in the back of mine, the twin tubes. And that's, we're just going to go from there because I was going to put some of those Baja design, the lights on the top and make it all old school. Although I might do KC, but the guys in Baja, I love them. So we all that whole trim. It's going to have that cool, 19.
Like a
See,
little.
that's why you and I are friends. Because
There you go.
I love that.
So got into it. I was trying to figure out how to put a second shock in there, so I got like 4 shocks all the way around.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can do that. Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Like take the 6-pack and break it up into what looks like 2 different shocks.
Oh, there you go.
Instead of
and keep the little wheels on it. You should put the little wheels back on it, and maybe go to our put a 4.5-inch spring in there or something.
Oh, dude. Well, we don't really have 4.5-inch springs, but if I do it right, I can do our 3.5, and I can go get like a 3-inch pucks.
Yes.
Red,
Yes.
3-inch red pucks all the way around.
Yeah, we should start making body lifts for those too.
And I wonder if I can downsize the tire. Like go to a street tire. Go down to maybe a 31.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, a little street tire.
Think about how long you could spin those rear wheels.
You joke about that, but I'm telling you, I want to go get a TJ, like the same, like a 98 Sport like I currently have, and slam it to the ground and put little kart racing wheels on it. Those things are fun when they're stock. Do you remember what your TJ was like when it was stock?
I do.
They're fun to drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not what we do with our rigs, but dude, when they're stock and the little stock stick shift, I was having more fun with that thing than I do now. It's like
you need to find a 2-wheel drive one and then put it on the ground.
Oh, that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Slam it down, or just take the drive shaft out on the front and drive.
You do that.
You make that little change. Well, hey, did you have a great Thanksgiving?
We did. We actually didn't do anything and kind of waited for the day to pass, did some stuff around the house because we were getting ready and planning a trip over to Moab to do some little bit of R&D, some little discovery stuff for our Modern Jeeper Adventure Moab edition coming up next year.
Nice. It is scheduled, guys. So be a part of it. So does that mean that Jessy, you weren't slaving away in the kitchen all day?
No, I have not done that yet.
Nice.
I'm waiting to cook my turkey. So
when are you going to cook your turkey?
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
You have one? Is it in the fridge?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one.
Pounds?
18.
18, yeah.
18, yeah. So that's what I did. I cooked an 18-pound turkey and roasted vegetables and mashed potatoes in my Instant Pot, and I cooked it. And for all of you who out there who know that I've been doing a plant-based diet, I cooked the turkey. I ate the turkey.
Yay!
Okay?
Nice, all 18 pounds.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what we would do with 18 pounds of turkey, but
yeah. I'm trying to remember back in the day, when my grandmother would make the turkey, they'd put it she'd do the bag one, right? Remember they used to put it in the brown paper bag, right? And it would cook for like 6 hours, right? Like my turkey was done in 2.5 hours, and it was amazing.
That is kind of funny. How come those I remember the turkey being in the oven. They had to go in at 4:00 in the morning, and they came out at 2.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe, you know what it is? It's the density of the meat. It's the quality. Like we have so many hormones. The hormones actually probably help it cook quicker.
It's COVID.
It's Roro.
It's all COVID. But no, we kind of had a quiet Thanksgiving and got ready for Moab. Rockstar got done Wednesday.
Yep, Wednesday afternoon.
Got the PSC RAM all welded and everything works.
So pretty cool. We're gonna have to take some pictures of that because what the guys here at our local shop at Willie's Custom Fab, Jimmy, who's worked on my LJ and even Spike back in the day. I've known those guys for a long, long time. He actually used the metal cloak bracket, the track bar bracket, and then did a little bit of reinforcing to it. Also, and a lot of welding. Added some kind of some tabs to it. We added the PSC tabs onto the front of it, and then he welded that whole thing to the axle itself, still utilizing the metal cloak bracket and utilizing PSC steering. So it can be done. Does it take some custom fabrication? It does, but it is bulletproof and it's done really well. So we'll have to take some pictures and show that out there.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a PSC. That's pretty cool, man.
It is. And I know a lot of folks are even just getting rid of the JK steering box itself and replacing it with PSC's big bore kit, which makes a huge difference. You don't necessarily need to add the hydraulic assist ram to it and stuff like that. But again, when you go to a bigger tire, it's so much nicer to be able to turn it easier. And we had a blast. So we tried to get out and do trails that Jesse's not ever been on in Moab, as well as find some new possibilities for our adventure. And I think we succeeded in that.
Oh, yeah.
So what'd you do? What'd you do, Jesse? Tell us the best. Tell us the most fun you had. Come on, let's talk.
The most fun?
The most fun you had in the trail you went on.
Steel bender.
Right.
It reminded me a lot of Top of the World, the terrain. And then pulling up to that big, massive wall.
So the drop off, or the wall, they call it.
You could see it from afar, and I was like, and there's razors up there playing on it, and I'm like, oh God.
Big audience.
Besides, I was like, great, there's an audience, which I totally hate when I'm doing new, bigger obstacles, and I just don't like people around, I guess. It makes me more nervous. It's kind of like stage fright for me.
It hones your craft.
It does. It definitely does.
Absolutely.
But we approached the wall, and I'm just like, oh, wow.
She drove right. So steel bender typically is run, you typically run steel bender, you go down the wall, and then the rest of that trail is called flat pass. We run it backwards, which we did a couple years ago with the first Modern Jeeper adventure, and come through flat pass, go up the wall, and then make the steel bender loop.
The wall was tore up.
She did great. And in a two-door JK that's extremely short wheelbase, as a lot of our listeners know, the length of a vehicle does matter, and you can be too long, like where some of the four-doors struggle. Yeah, and you can be too short. And with her being a stock two-door going up something that's fairly steep and pretty technical, she hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Woohoo! You go, girl.
I did go sideways and was he went to, all I saw was him running to grab my stinger, and I was like, oh crap.
Wait. You went physically grab the stinger? Did you think you could actually stop it if it was going?
I was like,
she was
you must have Baby Yoda with you.
Yeah.
Right? He would be.
And it as she came up, it kind of slid a little bit towards the driver's side, and it stuck, and she didn't back up, didn't have to pull line, nothing. Ended up crawling right up out of that.
After I stopped, and he was like, he's like, y'all got this. I was like,
You got this,
because all I was
girl.
doing was going sideways. So of course, you do the old man trick locker work with the brake and the gas, and
it's fine.
Just crawled up.
It's good. Besides, you got
and
medical product.
And then everybody cheered, and it was like, oh God.
When you have metal cloak on your rig, it works automagically.
Automagically.
It does.
Yeah,
it works awesome.
It was pretty funny because when we were coming up to the obstacle, there were about 10 folks, 7 or so side-by-sides up at the top of this thing. And we kind of were walking up there to look at it. And the guys at the top, of course, were going, yeah, you guys, you want us to show you the line? And I'm like, yeah, no, we got this. This isn't our first rodeo. And they had a 4-door side-by-side kind of struggling where we were going to come up. And so they all kind of waited for us to come up, and it was pretty funny because Dustin drove up first. I spotted him and Jesse up, and then I came up, and all the guys in the ATVs were like, well, this is boring. They all just drove right up it.
Oh, that's funny.
It was good.
You know, you have those moments, right? You think about that, like going over the Golden Crack, right? Everybody likes to carry a wheel. And the first time I did that in the JK, I'm like, oh, wait, they've actually had me go at a circular angle so I'd have enough to force the wheel to carry, because it just doesn't happen with our suspension. It just kind of goes right through. Well, that's boring.
Yeah.
That's a boring photograph. What are you doing, man? It's boring.
Right.
Don't be boring. Don't be stupid.
You know, and it was funny, for it being Thanksgiving weekend, Moab was busy. I mean, town was packed. The hotels were full. The restaurants were busy. Yesterday morning, when we left to come back home, town shut down.
Really?
It was kind of like, okay, the season's over.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's funny.
Odd.
That is funny.
And I think there's like 3 more hotels being built. Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Did they finally build the one at the old shop? What was that? The Moab Outfitter, or what was it?
No, there's nothing back there yet, but there are 2 on the north end of town. Town was under a lot of construction still. The road coming into town is being completely redone to add lanes to it.
About time.
Yeah. It was busy, and there's a new business in town that Mr. Jeremy Rowan took us to go explore and throw hatchets at a wall.
Hatchets at a wall.
Hatchet hurling.
Hatchet
Hurling hatchets.
Hurling hatchets. Hatchets and hurling.
Axe throwing.
Axe throwing. Throwing axes at a wall.
Hatchets and hurling sounds like a bar.
Definitely. It's hurling afterwards.
It's like it's like big kids darts, so with axes. So
yeah, and I think our adventure.
And how did you do?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, we had a blast.
Awesome.
So I mean, are these like real, like, I guess they're really real throwing hatchets, which are weighted properly and.
Oh yeah. No, I put a time lapse video up this morning on my Facebook page.
Oh, check it out.
So it's going to be part of our Moab adventure.
Now I want to go.
Yeah, it's going
to
be.
Not that I didn't want to go before, guys, but
it's gonna be fun. We're going to incorporate that business.
Wow.
And we're going to go throw axes at each other. I mean, at the wood.
Yeah.
That's why I can't go to Jeremy lately. He's over there throwing axes at the wood.
And apparently he's actually pretty good. He's invested in a couple of his own hatchets.
Yes. I bought a throwing hatchet once, and it kept bouncing off the trees, so I gave it up. You know, hey, this looks like fun. Buy it, get it. Oh, okay. Well, see, and I can't practice it anymore with kids around because that's their.
That'd be bad.
Yeah.
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 Buy a chainsaw.
Yeah, babe. I'll go to the hospital with the kids. What happened?
Oh, I already. Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I already knocked myself in the head with one. I was walking around going, "Am I bleeding?" But it was just the back of it.
Well, when you go to swing, yeah.
I thought that only happened in the cartoons where Wile E. Coyote,
Hey, I am the cartoon actor. Are you kidding?
You met her, right?
That's my new nickname for you, Wile E. Coyote.
I need a helmet.
And Corey's a roadrunner. Except that Coyote finally caught the roadrunner.
Yeah. So we went out to Chicken Corners on the first day, and I've never done that.
I haven't done Chicken Corners either.
To go find some, things that went missing.
Have you heard about the monolith in the Utah desert?
Oh my gosh, he's missed out.
Dude, I've been isolated.
Man. So there was a monolith.
With 4 screens, I'd be like caught up with everything.
You're right. You'd know about this.
Yeah.
12 feet high, stainless steel monolith embedded in some rock somewhere in Utah.
Oh, now,
So
wait. Somebody did this, or it's a rumor, or what is it?
no, it was actually there.
Somebody did.
Google Earth showed it having existed since about 2015.
Oh, wow.
So some people went out and found it and put it on social media,
Mhm.
and it had become
Oh,
this massive in search of, like, hundreds of people going out into the middle of the Utah desert to try and find where this thing was at. Well, so we kind of knew where it was.
The people who found it didn't post where it was at. They just said, "Look, we found it."
Yes.
Haha.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
way deep in the BLM.
Yeah.
I wonder if kind of place it like our buddy Pete. Like, does he know about it?
You're right. Yeah. So if people are familiar with the area, Lockhart Basin, and the Chicken Corners, Hurrah Pass, out that area, and then, like we were told, another 4 hours south of there.
Wow.
So it's been a big deal. Been on NBC News. It's been on the Utah channels. We actually went out there not thinking we were going to go find it, but out into that area just to kind of do some pre-running, and ran across a bunch of people who were also going out there to try and find it.
Oh, wow.
Turns out we saw a lot of people coming back in trucks on the trail, and a helicopter came back, and turns out that it went missing
that morning.
It's gone.
Well, the rumor is BLM was going to remove it because it was illegal to have it out there, and people were getting out there, getting lost, and not finding their way back out of there. So they wanted to remove it.
And running over the 1,000-year-old grass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there were, at one point we heard a report of there were 70 vehicles out in just this field, people scattered everywhere trying to find where this thing was at.
Wow.
So the more recent post is that some people were actually out there when it was removed, and now the BLM is looking for them because they're in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
It's kind of funny because BLM wanted it removed because it was illegal for it to be there,
right.
but it's also illegal for them to remove it.
Right.
So, yeah, this thing is crazy. You gotta.
Government's allowed to do things that we can't. You do understand that, right?
Right. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Never thought of
So
such
wait. So how big was this monolith? Is this like
12 feet tall?
And somebody just removed it.
Stainless steel. Somehow we don't know how it was embedded in the rock, but it was like, to see pictures. In fact, even Nina Barlow, she had a picture on her website of it that somebody took, but it was like a mirrored 3-sided triangle.
Wow.
Riveted together and stuck in the ground. People were taking pictures like standing on top of this thing, and
oh, it's 3-sided. It was a triangle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was picturing like 2001: Space Odyssey, big black thing that monkeys were hitting each other over the head with.
Well, so
that was the Prius for it.
They actually had said that maybe it was left by some filmmakers back in the day, and then we've heard reports of there's actually like 12 of them in random areas in Utah. It's
now those are actually antennas.
Yes.
Somebody said the aliens went and picked
you got to remember, Moab, what was it? Uranium. It's a uranium mine. I mean, you guys are all playing around a uranium mine. There is the deep state is watching you. Is that uranium mine owned by the Russians now, by the way?
What is?
I'm just wondering if that uranium mine is owned by the Russians now, because we sold all our uranium to the Russians.
I got nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Modern Jeeper Show. We talk about all things except for Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, it's Jeep related. So.
It is Jeep. No, it's great. It takes it. Obviously, though, if you have a helicopter, you don't need a Jeep to go out and do all that stuff. I mean, come on, jeez, helicopters.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a picture of this thing.
Oh wow! So we'll have links on, obviously, for our show notes, but that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, wow.
Yeah. Again, and people are really questioning who put it there. And now there's
man.
now the news story is that they know who took it down. The guy said that he considered it trash, and it was violating the landscape. So
So he picked it
So,
up.
so it was removed by a liberal hippie.
yes,
Yeah, liberal hippie.
actually they call him
environmentalist.
what do they say? It's a well-known Moab slackliner.
Slackliner, says he. Wait a second. You would think you'd want the monolith to be able to tie a slackline to,
Right?
right? Can you actually slackline in Moab unless you're like, what do you do between like the arches?
If you're good at it, are you just a slacker?
Dude, don't even get on the hate. Yeah, Salesforce just bought slack.com for $24 billion.
Oh God.
All righty.
The things that go around in my head. I don't know about yours.
So you guys are making some. Oh, look at that.
Metal cloak.
Patches?
Patches. No, this is our new embroidery that's going on to a jacket that initially is being given to our staff and then will go online.
That's cool.
But it's our new embroidery. It's got American flag, metal cloak, boom, boom, boom. It's about 3 inches wide, 4 inches tall, something like that. Boom.
So for our listeners that are just listening to the podcast, it's our standard Metal Cloak logo with a kind of a wavy flag coming out the top of the M.
Yeah,
or the Jeep.
We'll show it to you guys. We also have mugs coming out with those things. And
aren't you guys going to make like a rack for the JL or something?
You know, we aren't, but our sister company, Adventure Rack Systems, is. Yeah, I gotta do that. No, actually, no, we are. It's great. I'll tell you what, it is pretty awesome. All right. So if you go to the website right now and you look up either adventureracksystems.com, which is formerly Cargo Master Safari, but is now Adventure Rack Systems, or you go over to metalcloak.com and bring it up. The rack. So here's the problem with the JL. There's a problem with every rack system out there made for the JL that has a front hoop, because there are some that don't have front hoops, but you have a front hoop. You have two problems in the front and the rear. You know, it's like most, you have front caboose problem, head problem, whatever. The front, the way the body is designed underneath the cowl, where most companies are connecting, it's basic sheet metal that is pretty much industrially glued together down there. In other words, there's no strength whatsoever, right? And if you go to the site, in fact, we'll do a link to it. We have a great image showing what we've done, and which literally is to go in through using a combination of rib nuts and other structural strengtheners and brackets, and actually build the substructure that allows for your rack to be bolted onto it and not be dependent on the weak sheet metal of the Jeep. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we built this structure, and now that front tube by itself might as well be an exo cage. It is so strong. I mean, you can shake on it and shake on it and shake on it. The entire rig, nothing moves except the rig. Well, everything moves. The entire rig moves.
The entire Jeep moves. Yeah, I remember seeing the prototype to that cowl mount, and it's a work of art, just that particular mount.
Yeah. It is. It looks beautiful. It has a couple of different mounts on it you can add brackets if you want to do different type of lights, for like our buddies over at Baja Designs, and little pod lights or whatever. And it has also that, and that's just a great hoop. Then we did our spreader bars, and it came out to the back hoop. Now, if you have a metal cloak bumper, real easy, bolts right in. You know, we have a little bracket. You can go drill a couple holes in the metal cloak bumper, and it bolts right on. If you have some sort of aftermarket bumper, we have a couple of different brackets coming out, whether you have the steel bumper from, the stock steel bumper from Jeep, or if you have one of the two. By the way, there are two different plastic bumpers, depending on the model you have, whatever. You can have like the real simple injection molded, and you can have the blow molded. There's two different ones. And so based on whichever plastic bumper you have, you can have a little bracket system down there. But we built that bracket system so well in the back, using a combination of things, because here's the problem with the rear. If you just bolt onto the frame and you just use a standard frame bracket like we do with the JK, the frame flexes.
Oh, right.
So you can't be dependent on the frame. So if you want to have the type of weight capacity we do, which is right now, listen, we say officially it's over 850 pounds static weight. over 350 pounds dynamic weight, probably closer to 400 and 1,000, to be honest.
Makes sense.
From the standpoint of what most people to do, easily 850 pounds static weight, 350 pounds dynamic weight. And that's because we've created these other bracket systems to be able to handle that load in the rear and the front. So, and it's a good 2-inch tube, no standoffs. We don't have any of these standoffs. You got to screw against your rig against a little piece of metal that you go put on
something that's going to rub
there, and it kind of keeps it. I mean, I appreciate all the rack companies out there. I mean, it's like anything, even in this industry, whether it's rock crawling industry or the overlanding industry, there are a lot of great companies, and I really appreciate them all. But when we wanted to do something, we've got to do it right. And people expect a certain level from Metal Cloak, and we're trying to create that same level of exceptionalism at Adventure Rack Systems. And so that's where we took the time and energy to redo it and redo it and redo it. People are like, where are the racks? Where are the racks to the jail? Well, you know what? They're on the website now. They're for sale. And they have the 2-door and the 4-door. And they are the strongest, most dynamic, best built racks in the overlanding industry.
Nice.
It's amazing. Now we're building our accessories. We have all the little existing accessories that are out there from the KMS line, which many of them are on sale right now because we're just moving through inventory as we develop and design our new accessory systems. That'll be, again, more dynamic and more at the level that we wanted to be at. But these accessories, the platforms, all the grab handles, all that stuff work incredibly well. I've used them. You saw me using them out there at Death Valley earlier this year. Yeah. But between that and the jail systems, I'm blown away by how good this rack is.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, as we've seen some pretty creative ways to store gear. And I think when people hear the name rack, people all of a sudden go, it's not for me because I'm not an overlander. This isn't like that anymore. We've been with some folks, our friends Jim and Deb, who carry a lot of stuff with them, and that is a rock crawling overlanding rig. And I think that's huge. That's a huge benefit.
Absolutely, it is, and being able to do that. And you've got you work with your buddies over at Tuffy, and you have friends over at all the different other companies that have different types of storage systems and stuff. That is almost getting to be a part of what the advantage of having a Jeep is, right? Because they're making these storage systems so well that it's not just something bouncing around in the back of your rig. You can go out to a place that nobody else can go because you have a built rig and take it out there. Hey, listen, we're working with our friends over at Camprite. Just had them over here, and it's awesome. One of my buddies is over at Camp right now. And they're working on new product development. We had them come by the shop. We sat back and talked. We're starting to work in some stuff with them, especially for the Modern Jeeper community, where the Modern Jeeper with the tent cot, otherwise known as a bear burrito, but the tent cot, they're redesigning that. They're making it better, getting rid of some of the things like both you and I experienced when we were at Death Valley this last year, which is waking up to having dripping on your head because of all the condensation inside, right?
Right.
But imagine having that system, a tent cot, that instead of having a big rooftop tent, you have your platform and everything else, and you just pop out your tent cot.
I like it.
Lighter weight, very simple. They have a 4-person unit, or if not a 4-person, but a double wide unit.
Double.
So it's a 2-person, yeah.
Yeah.
2-person,
yeah. I'm going to be interested in one of those 2-person tent cots here coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Jesse's 2-door in her JK, she's running a diabolical rear enclosed area. And again, like you said, having our Jeeps and giving us the freedom to carry everything we want, carry it securely, carry it safely, not get stolen out of the back of our rig, or, all of that kind of plays into us customizing our rigs, which is why everybody starts out with the suspension, body armor, and then it is this progressive, okay, now where are we going to go and how are we going to use our vehicles?
Right. And that's a lot about it too, because, many companies design their suspension systems with the idea that you're basically taking your rig and, how many people, what's the trend now? More and more people are trying to make their rigs lighter. Aluminum this, aluminum bumpers, aluminum fenders, aluminum pieces, right? And Whereas when we started, and we've kind of always been a body armor company, so we always focused on having a suspension system that can handle the extra weight.
Right.
Right. When we say it's a 3.5-inch lift, it's because it's a 3.5-inch lift with aftermarket bumper, aftermarket fenders, skid plates, roll cage, rear bumper, large spare, all the things you would have as a rock crawler. And now you're going to the next level, overlander, putting stuff on top of your rig. I'm not a big fan of rooftop tents, only because that's a lot of weight and it just messes with your center of gravity, right? And especially when you're rock crawling.
Well, and you're also, even to get in and out is difficult. It's a ladder. It's not that big a deal. But if you want to carry something heavy up to the top, that's all kind of plays into that. But if you have something that's solid.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
The older you get, it's like, oh, I don't know about you, but man, I got to go.
Right. So what we should start doing is selling a little excavator that comes out of the front and digs a big hole so that your rooftop tent is now ground level.
Ooh.
You could pull the Jeep into the hole.
Would that be legal at state parks?
I guess if we filled it up.
Well, we could be like by like, what was it? Olympic 4x4 had their cage that actually came completely off.
Yep.
And
you could flip the whole thing backwards.
And backwards. So maybe if you did that, you had the rooftop tent underneath and you just flipped it over, brought it to the ground. So little actuator, hit a button, the whole thing just goes down. What it really should be is where it just comes out. An arm comes out of the back of your Jeep, comes up, lifts up your tent, takes it down, drops it on the ground. You do it, comes back in and goes back in. And then the arm disappears because somehow in the transformers it works. We could figure that out. We're smart people.
Well, I like the idea of it flipping over, and then if you just put Velcro on your sleeping bag and on the tent, you could stick yourself upside down when it flipped over.
Dude. Well, the thing about that is if you roll your Jeep, you could still get access to your tent.
Well, then you're set. You could just camp, and it's all...
ModernJeepers, as we head off in another area of fantasy land.
Well, we've been really not aggressively, but we're really getting excited for the Death Valley adventure, and this kind of plays right into that. I think that this year is going to be a lot of fun in Death Valley. We've been putting up some repost stories from this year's event. Hopefully, our listeners and our readers are checking out those stories on the website. We're again this next year. Who knows? Who knows what we got?
Who knows what it's gonna be like? You got some events that are already planning on doing virtual events, like TDS and some of these others. ModernJeeper Adventure Calendar has over 100 events that Jessy went out there, guys. Jessy went out and she just tracked them down and got them in there. Who knows what these events are going to be like? Big disclaimer. Any event at any time can be canceled or changed or modified. Be aware. Yeah. But it's incredible what the potential of 2021 to be, which is that everybody who thought maybe I'll go to an event this year is going to be out next year, because you never know when all of a sudden the events start canceling. So I think it's going to be, imagine every event you're going to next year being as popular as like Panama Beach or Myrtle Beach or any of those were.
Yeah. I can see where they're going to start to limit the number of people. They're going to have to. I just think that it's
what's the talk for EJS? What's the scuttlebutt there?
It's still a go. According to what we're hearing, the folks that are part of the Jeep Club, they're still planning like it's going to happen. Again, I think what 2020 did for all of us is it just made us very susceptible to change, right? We're kind of flexible enough now after this year. They can tell us anything and we're like, yeah, whatever. It's a week later. Okay.
Right. Getting us used for it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know where it's going to go, where we're going to be at this time next year, how the world's going to be politically, economically, otherwise. But at least we have our Jeeps. We have our friends. We have our Jeepers. Right. We have the ModernJeeper community. And that's what I tell everybody around here. It's like, listen, one of the biggest industries devastated by COVID was the event industry. 12 years ago, I transitioned from the event industry, where I was doing a blues festival, 3 beer festivals, and a bunch of other stuff, and to the manufacturing world of Jeeps. And I was pretty thankful around Thanksgiving table this year that I did, because we've been pretty fortunate. I think in this industry, we've been pretty fortunate, all of us that are in this industry, to be able to have something that people are so passionate about that that's where they put their time and energy when they couldn't do something else. And otherwise, I don't know where I would be, because I know other people that are in the event business that were like, time to redefine myself, right?
Absolutely.
So I know that I've been very fortunate, but it'll be interesting what next year's about.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got our fingers crossed, and I know that from my perspective, from Jesse's perspective, this year, even when the large events aren't able to take place, we've been lucky enough and fortunate enough that our fellow Jeepers and our Jeep family has reached out to us and said, "Hey, we want to still go do things." And so you get together with your local guys from your local Jeep club, and you go out and you get off road and you go exploring. And it doesn't have to be the big event, but we all know that's where we get to see everybody. We get to see the new products. We get to see all the vendors, and we get to have conversations with those manufacturers. If we miss out on that, well, then you just have to come find us out on the trail.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's it. I was just looking at something that just came across mine, a military group that was asking for some help and support, which we love doing. And in fact, it looks like one of the trips they're doing is up in your area.
Oh,
yeah, they're going to be coming up your Imogene Pass and all that. They identified.
Yeah.
So I'll hook you guys up. But
for sure,
at least you can go out and do that. Take a group of your buddies and get out there. And whether or not you're at an organized event, every vendor out there has some sort of online presence. So we get through that. But it's, for us especially, it's seeing the friends, because there are some people that in the industry I only see when I go to an event and happen to hang out there, and I haven't seen most of them all year. So it's going to be like a big love fest. Oh, buddy, man, I missed you. How you been? Oh, it's good to see you. Oh, how's the wife and kid? Oh, screw all that. Where's a beer?
Well, and it's so hard, because we all we've become so driven into our technologies, and we know that we can have meetings online, and we can do these podcasts, and we have all these forums available to us and all these outlets for information, but none of them are very social. Even being in a forum, and I've seen some crazy questions lately, but people are just, I don't know, I think they're just bored, and
right,
and they don't know where else to turn to. They don't know where else to look. But again, we've kind of regressed. We've gone back 10 years, and now I'm seeing questions about, hey, do you guys have any pictures of a Jeep on 35s?
We were talking about that. We were talking about, like, people are actually so bored that they're going back to, like, my TJ is still open. It's still got stock transfer case, and it's on 35s. And people are like, man, how come you had taken that out? Like, well, it's the wife's rig. Don't bring anything. Whatever. No, man, take it out. I mean, I just put a 44 in the rear, so I guess I could just go out and play it. 30 front, 44 rear. It's all good to go, right? This
absolutely.
is but it's all a test of skill. And for the modern Jeeper community knows I don't have that skill. It's not. Pin it to win it.
Right.
So by the way, I don't know if anybody out there was paying attention, but we did the 10 days of sales, right? Now, did you guys, I got to ask this survey question. Did you buy anything on Black Friday from anywhere?
No.
They're shaking their heads no.
Nope.
It's kind of interesting. I actually went on Black Friday, like, I got to find something, right?
Right.
I couldn't find anything. Like, there wasn't
I've always got a couple of things that I'm always in the back of my mind bouncing around. And I think we mentioned last week, we actually watched a show called The Minimalists. And after dealing with all of my mom's stuff, I really am fighting myself inside. When I want something, I really struggle now to go, I don't use half of the stuff that I have.
Right.
How can I add more to it? But technology keeps changing. And whether it's a new phone, a camera, a computer, a electronic device, that stuff 3 years, something that's 3 years old is almost obsolete anymore, no matter what it is.
Right.
So
yeah. That's the problem being an early adopter like you.
yes.
I wait till it's obsolete to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. My mom, so we'll go back. I'll tell you another story. There are some items in her medicine cabinet that I remember that she had when I was a little kid. One of them is when you have a cough, or your throat is hurting. There was a chloroseptic spray.
I remember that. Yeah.
So she that's been in her medicine cabinet since I remember it when I was about 8 years old.
The same bottle.
I
wonder if does it work. Did you try it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to taste it.
We can't taste anything now.
Yeah, I'm going to
ferment it a little bit.
Probably make your whole face go numb. I don't know. But again, but my mom used to get very frustrated because all of these things that she bought over the years, things like glue and tape or paint, things like that, when she'd buy them on sale, when she'd go to use them, they were done. They were dried up and didn't work anymore, and it would just bother her so much. So now it's we're in a society where if you don't need it, I mean, whatever you want, you can, up until this year, you could go buy whatever you wanted when you needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think the prior generations, they saved for a rainy day, or they kept things that they were going to maybe need some time later. But stuff doesn't last anymore. So,
well, I was watching, interestingly enough, last night, the Waltons was on TV. Wow. I think Hallmark Channel plays.
So you are a little bit behind.
I am. Oh yeah, I was a little behind on TV.
Okay,
but I'm reminded like all the kids are walking around barefoot, right? And the Waltons, they weren't just backcountry people; they were actually like pretty mainstream, probably middle class, right? He made a good living with doing wood, but all the kids are running around, and they had money that they put into a shoe fund so the kids could have shoes for the winter. But kids grow out of their shoes, and you can't just always replace them, right? Like you just right now. I look at mine, and like between what my wife buys at the thrift store, buys online, because you can get brand new unworn shoes at the thrift stores for like $5. They cost $50 in the stores, right? I don't know how they charge $40 or $50 for this thing that's the size of a fist, but kids' shoes. And my kids have 12, 13, 14 pairs of like name brand shoes and Uggs and whatever else. I mean, they got, and like, that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
We, I guess we're fortunate in that we have items that if we want, it turns out we can just place orders for things and we can just own them, whether we need them or not.
Right. As Corey is saying that, ladies and gentlemen, you can watch it he put on his new Oakleys, yellow, signature yellow, with his name etched onto the glass, which is like, or whatever that plastic, whatever that is,
right
on the lens. Yeah, name, chosen font, full name. They didn't misspell
I'm extra.
It. Huh?
And I'm the extra one.
And you're the extra.
Extra.
See, if it was me, I would have put your name on my glasses. So I'm always looking at it and always remembering you.
You would have just had them etched with your name.
Right. Yeah.
Your name here.
Yeah, right. Hey, sweetheart, what's your name? I got your name right on my. Oh.
That's a different topic.
That's a different topic. Well, ModernJeepers, I hope we've enjoyed this great episode. It's been a fun time, and many of you say that you actually enjoy the fact that it's like you're hanging out with our friends, and we're just hanging out here. This is the conversation Corey, Jessy, and I have on a regular basis, and we just like sharing that with you. And it was the inspiration for doing the show in the first place. So
that's right.
Had a lot of fun. And we got into some stuff, and there's so much more we could talk about, but maybe we'll say that for next week.
There you go.
Back to it all. But we had a great time. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and had a chance to listen to the Thanksgiving episode Is there anything else you want to share out there, Corey, before we hit the trails?
No, sir. I hope that, like Matson said, everybody enjoyed spending some time with their families, and they're getting to enjoy some time. This is that interim season for us always between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where there's not a lot of events, but there's still a lot of projects taking place. If you're working on something, shoot us an email, post something on social media, hashtag ModernJeeper. Let us find it, let us check it out, and share it with everybody. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to do something. Corey and I haven't talked about this, but I'm going to do something. Go on to ModernJeeperShow.com and post in the comments section, your wish list for your Jeep. And I'm not just talking about Metal Cloak products. I'm talking about what is it you want for Christmas for your Jeep this year? What do you want?
I love
Now, Santa Claus might just read that list. And again, I'm not talking about Metal Cloak product. I'm talking about
any product.
Anything. What is it you want for your Jeep? What is on your Christmas list for your Jeep? And maybe Modern Jeeper might just get that list and send it to Santa Claus and see if 1 or 2 or 3 or more of our Modern Jeeper fans get what they asked for.
That's awesome.
Maybe not. Maybe we'll find out you're all naughty. You don't get anything.
Right. Yeah, we have to check that list.
But we're going to look at the list and go, man, that's what I want. Look at that. I hadn't thought about that for my rig. Well, Corey, Jesse, so good to see you guys. And hey, are you, I don't even know, are you guys coming out for Christmas? You know, you still have an open invitation to come to Oregon, because I'll be in Oregon next week.
Maybe we'll do that. We don't know yet. We're just kind of, we're hanging out. We'll see what happens.
See what happens. All right. Yeah. Well, Modern Jeepers, I know you're all hanging out, seeing what will happen, and we'll see you next week, and see you on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.